G'day Bond Knitters. Today I'm going to show you how to do the 2-colour royal quilt stitch. It took me a few goes to work out how to do this on the Bond knitting machine, but as you can see it looks pretty cool. This here is the reverse side. All the floats are tucked away beautifully and it's snag free. For this project you will need a multiple of 6 stitches plus 1. The first thing you're going to do is pull out the 7th needle and then every following 6th needle in that row. Knit across with your main colour yarn. Cut a piece of contrast colour yarn about 3 times the length of your project and manually knit these stitches. This next step is not necessary if you are starting from scratch because you won't have any floats to pick up. What's happening in this step is that I'm taking off the manually knitted stitch, picking up a float from the front of the work and replacing the stitch that I manually knitted. So, remove stitch, hang the front float, and replace the stitch. The next step is also one that you will need to skip if you are just starting off. So what I'm doing here is picking up that front float and overlaying it at the base of that manually knitted stitch. From this point on, you need to pick up all of these large floats and put them on a center needle. In this next step, I like to pull out the last 3 needles and weave them through, over and under, and then weave back. Then thread your contrast colour yarn through a wool needle and manually knit that same 7th stitch. Once you have done this, you then need to pass the contrast coloured yarn behind the following 5 stitches. Manually knit, behind 5 stitches, manually knit, behind 5 stitches, etc. When you get to the end of the row, you'll notice you've got 2 strands. Pull out 3 needles and weave them over and under, and then alternate with the 2nd strand under and over, etc. Secure the 2 strands with a clip to add a little bit of weight. And now ensure that the entire engaged needles are ready to knit and in position for your carriage to knit back. Now to continue the pattern, flick out the 4th needle and then every following 6th needle. Then all you do is continue the steps from the beginning of this video right through to the end, alternating every 7th stitch, every 4th stitch, etc.